Hello everybody! Welcome to the presentation about social academic analytics in higher education. My name is Kathleen. I'm working at the University of Technology in Dresden and the Institute for Technology and Knowledge Transfer in Mittweida in Germany. So I'm really impressed, I'm really proud and really much grateful for the nomination of the Young Researcher Award in Social Media Research at this social media conference. So first of all, I would like to thank the committee members for organizing this great conference, especially Professor James Henry, the conference president at Social Media 2014, Professor Dr. Philip Zheng, the CEO of Web Education Foundation in China, Professor Paul Monclere-Vannet, the president of Siam of Technology College in Thailand, and Mr. Daniel Lay, the Government Chief Information Officer and Chair of IT Festival 2014. So thank you for the opportunity to present the work. I would like to introduce you also to the co-authors of the paper. First of all, I would like to introduce you to Professor Ronald Reiger, one of the most popular sociologists and network scientists from the University of Arizona in the USA. And second, I would like to introduce you to Professor Thomas Köhler, one of the most important gatekeepers in the context of educational sciences in Germany. Unfortunately, we, especially I, cannot attend to the conference, but nevertheless I hope you enjoy the conference really much and have a good session in the next 25 minutes with me.
So, what was the motivation for this conceptual work? Our main goal is to transfer the network perspective into education sciences, to formulate data analysis for the field of web-based educational research today. We wanted to combine theories and models from informatics, social sciences, and education sciences at the macro level. The paradigm of social network theory has been increasingly adapted in the context of educational sciences in recent decades. And with the rise of new theories of participatory forms of learning organization like the connectivism, organizers and administrators of virtual knowledge organizations has a big challenge to offer emerging technologies for learning and organizational support. What is the meaning of social academic analytics? SAA can be described as a concept for implementation of a new scientific approach in the field of higher education. It can be interpreted as a form of organizational analytics within virtual knowledge networks. It refers to the process of extracting relational data for the purpose of exploring organizational structures at macro perspective. The implementation of SAA provides opportunities for organizers and instructors to optimize social and socio-technological infrastructures within virtual knowledge networks and offering significant potential for quality assurance. Our main goal is to support organizers and administrators in academic education by providing analysis methods and technical instruments to detect hidden structures of virtual knowledge organizations. The big challenge of social academic analytics is to answer the questions: who or what is connected to whom or what, by which channels, in which time, and with what effects? We propose social academic analytics as a new scientific approach for developing suitable instruments to promote virtual collaboration among the various types of entities in the field of higher education. SAA as a network approach comprises 4 key activities. First, extracting relational data from virtual higher education contexts. Second, exploring those contexts of relational data by systematization of multimodal infrastructures. Third, monitoring social and learning activities for assessing organizational structures of social aggregations. And fourth, preventing unwanted outcomes by simulating and modeling relational data. So, SAA provides instruments for improving decision-making processes. To answer the question who or what is connected to whom or what, by which channels, in which time, with what effects, we introduce the systematization of entities and their relations, based on Kathleen Carley's multimodal entity concept called the meta matrix in 2003. Virtual knowledge organizations in higher educations, for example, e-learning systems, blended learning platforms, OERs and MOOCs, are describable as multimodal networks. The exploration of these networks based on the presence or the absence of connections between different types of entities. The structure of networks consists of participants, for example, students, educators, faculties; resources like courses, materials, social media tools, etc.; action and tasks like read, write, share, like, etc.; locations like universities, institutes, research libraries, etc.; knowledge, what means the content, the topic, and the substance of something; and the events, the time-based entity in that term. For example, start of term, exit time, logged in, logged out, etc. to extract relational data. The characteristics and the attributes of entities and the relations are strongly related to the research question. Relations between the entities are ubiquitous but often invisible. However, with the help of extraction methods like social network analysis, dynamic network analysis, semantic network analysis, and visual analytics, relational data can be extracted and explored in order to reflect participation, collaboration, communication, and/or allocation. The analysis of activity, capacity, concentration, efficiency, performance, and flow processes can be explored and described by different configurations of entities. The configurations of entities in SAA are motivated by the potential connectivity among social participants, technical resources, action-based, spatial, and content-based, and also chronicle components. To explore these complex environmental conditions, we classify these networks in virtual knowledge organizations. We've revised the systematization of CARLI to conceptualize multimodal networks in virtual knowledge organizations. For exploring social learning conditions and internal organizational structures within virtual knowledge networks, the analysis of social learning networks is recommended. The exploration of resource management networks facilitates reflection by instructors and administrators on technology clusters, capabilities and concentration of resources, distribution processes, and resource development. The analysis of interaction networks describes the structural modalities for deployment of action and tasks. Organizational networks reflect intra- and inter-organizational aspects of virtual knowledge. Knowledge networks display the organization and management of information and knowledge flow. Their analysis provides insights into semantic structures of knowledge and information within learning networks. Dynamic networks arise from the aggregation of entities within knowledge organizations on the basis of time. Study of the evolution and temporal emergence is important to encourage instructors and administrators to promote innovation management and decision-making processes. The exploration of dynamic networks provide relational insights into dynamic learning mechanisms, resource developmental stages, interactive learning processes, organizational performances, knowledge flow, and/or innovation processes. For monitoring and assessing organizational structures of social knowledge organizations, social resource aggregation, social learning behavior, and information management, social network analysis and dynamic network analysis offer indicators and measurements to observe patterns of participation and collaboration, to identify roles and positions, key entities and key groups, to reflect community building processes and group awareness effects, to study learning related to concentration of resources, knowledge, tasks, and events, to observe technology use and resource sharing, and to extract overlapping knowledge and analyze changes over time. Typical indicators in social network analysis and dynamic network analysis for monitoring conditions at the whole network level are, for example, the density of social ties, the component counts, click counts, blocks, hierarchies, structural holes, the fragmentation, and so forth. SNA and DNA can be used for network classification, extraction of focus groups, and prediction indicators. For controlling and preventing unwanted outcomes, the examination of impacts, effectiveness, risks, and change over time in organizational structures are highlighted in the literature. Visual analytics supports statistical reports via control charts depicting changes and monitoring performance and capabilities in knowledge organizations. Network structures and scenarios can be compared by continuous monitoring of network indicators. The examination of change in knowledge networks depends on parameters like decision intervals, probabilities, and the number of control networks, for example. To explain changing behavior, to answer questions about whether and how knowledge can circulate, and whether some group members evolve as potential influentials. So visualization of relational data provides a deeply grounded understanding of dynamics in social support, learning strategies, knowledge flow and organizational developments by simulating and modeling relational data. So we can say SAA provides performance and developmental profiles as controlling instruments. In the following picture you can see in an overview what social academic analytics means. It is a research approach which provides a lot of instruments for measuring, on one hand, the pedagogical outcomes via the learning profiles on individual level, and also the organizational support via the extraction of collaboration patterns and organizational patterns via performance analysis at organizational level. With its focus on the 4 key activities: extraction, exploration, monitoring, and prevention, social academic analytics highlights the need for a systematic way for exploring relational data within knowledge networks. It can be considered as an instrument in educational data management. What's our conclusion about our key concept of social academic analytics? Social academic analytics can be used as controlling instrument for decision-making processes in virtual knowledge organizations. Social academic analytics consists of a set of techniques to handle relational data in macro perspective. And social academic analytics answers the question who or what is connected to whom or what, by which channels, in which time, and with what effect. Social academic analytics provides the concept for building a clear understanding of activities of entities, of patterns of collaboration, of organizational structures, and structural cohesion over time. For future research, we suggest the evaluation of social academic analytics as concept in applied research. Answering the question who is connected to whom, by which channels, in which time, with what effect, is one of the major research problems that social academic analytics can address. Applied research of the spectrum of dynamics, competencies, capacities, and requirements are necessary for continuous improvements of social academic analytics. So we propose that software programmers and knowledge organizations should develop integrated techniques to handle relational data and combine social network analysis, dynamic network analysis, semantic network analysis, and visual analytics as comprehensive applicable management software tools. So the technical implementation is needed for virtual learning organization and knowledge networks. After this conceptualization of social academic analytics, we would like to present some case studies in the era of SAA and give you a short introduction about how can SAA used for in the educational context. We have extracted relational data from the educational portal Saxony, Germany between 2005 and 2010. The educational portal Saxony is one central web application by 11 universities in Saxony, Germany. The target was to extract and explore the infrastructure in this educational portal, Saxony, and we had a lot of participants, a lot of discussion boards, and a lot of articles within there. We have extracted relational data from this e-learning environment as multimode network. We have participants in there, articles, and discussion boards. First, we extracted the communication behavior with the social learning network, participant, and discussion board as two-mode network, and that just between them was the articles. And we studied the collaboration behavior between participants. And we had a one-mode network, what means we have participants collaborates to participants within the same discussion boards. After that, we have explored those context of relational data by systematization of multimodal infrastructures. First, we generate from this two-mode network a one-mode network and extracted the whole network with over 5,800 participants and more than 8,500 links between them via a giant component clustering. Our target was to extract the ELITE in this network. These are provide the information transfer and provide distribution processes. We extracted the data via what we've called the hybrid equivalence method, what means we want to have the most popular participants in the network to generate roles and positions. And after this extraction process, we explored this this giant component, and we have called this and analyzed this as focus group with 834 participants, with 70,709 links between them, with a highest connectedness and good density, with short distance measurements and a global diameter of 6 degrees between every participant. After that, we explored the roles and position within this focus group. In this focus group, we explored 5 different roles and network positions, and we extracted this via the combination of social characteristics and behavioral characteristics and network matrix. And we've got a really new view about what happens in the network with information flow, distribution processes, what is the potential of connectedness, what is the impact of roles and positions. And we've got a lot of information about additional information, what are the roles in the real world are, and what are the roles and positions in a virtual knowledge network are. We provide this basic statistical information in a chart, in a control chart for the organizers and administrators, to give them a new view about what happens in the network and what happens with the knowledge and what happens with the connectedness of the collaborative network of OPAL. In the third step, we have monitored emerging social behavior between 2005 and 2010 between participants. And we've got a lot of information about how roles evolve in the network and what are the impact of these roles are over time. We saw that most of the participants don't change their role, but these peoples who are changing this role here are really influential in the network. For example, the evolution of the broker. Brokers are not really the brokers in the network from the beginning. They are evolved over time, and they got their role from a peripheral position to a central position. And this happens over time. And this is what we see in our case study that is really reflectable what happens with social behavior and social learning in the network. We monitored also the evolution processes over the whole network, and we identified 5 developmental stages: the innovation phase, the growing phase, the maturing phase, the degeneration phase, and the recovery phase. And we thought that in the maturity phase the density was really low, but the efficiency was really high, and we had a really high connectedness. And we found a correlation between the impact of the network roles networks, and each evolutionary processes. After all, we have modeled the relational data to prevent unwanted outcomes and also to give the instructors and administrators status quo of evolution processes within the network. We found the correlation between roles and positions and the evolution processes of the network. We found key actors, potential influentials for each stage of evolution, and we formulate this as recommendations for instructors of OPAL.
So this was a short introduction of our conceptual work about social academic analytics in higher education. After all, we would like to thank you for your attention, and many thanks again to the organizing committee members for the nomination of the Young Researcher Award. Furthermore, if you have any questions or any suggestion, or if you are interested in further collaborations with me or us, please don't hesitate and contact me or us. We wish you a pleasant stay at a social media conference. Enjoy the time, and especially I hope we meet us again. All the best from Germany. Bye bye.